99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You already know what time it is. And this Sunday night, we are joined by New York City's finest. We got Matt Sullivan of Title Holder right here live on the radio and, of course, YouTube as well. Matt, how are you doing out there in the Big Apple of New York City?
I am living the dream. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, but thank you for a bit of your time here this evening. I know you guys are doing some phenomenal things with Title Holder. You got a lot of great shows coming up. Also got new music that we're going to get into. So I know you're busy, so thank you for a bit of your time here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I will always make time to talk to good folks on the radio about shit that's fun to do.
Hey, you know what? And vice versa, man. The feeling is definitely mutual. But I won't keep you too long, so I want to dive right into this. But I got to take you back to the beginning of Title Holder. And what is the story actually behind this band? Like, how did yourself and the 6 other members come together as one to form this phenomenal band?
You know what? It was really, really crazy what happened. So 2020 hits, pandemic is in full effect, and I just was at a point in my life where I wasn't really sure what I was going to be doing musically. So I just started making some ska music because back in the day, like Less Than Jake, Boss Tones, Real Big Fish, those were all like huge influences on me when I was growing up and getting into pop punk and ska and stuff. And so I just started making some demos, and I am listening to Krista Makes a Podcast, which is the singer from Less Than Jake, Krista Makes. And at the end of the very first episode that he ever released, he was interviewing John Feldman from Goldfinger. He says, "Hey, the world's shut down. We're not doing anything. Here's my email. If you ever want to work with me, like, I'm open-minded to working with people." And at the time I had a couple demos, and my wife was like, "Yo, you should send him your shit, dude." And I went, "Nah, I'm not going to do that. He doesn't want to hear my stuff." And she was like, "Dude, you play Call of Duty all day. You're not doing anything right now. Like, you're just sitting on the couch in your underwear, chilling. Like, send him your music. See if he says anything." And I send him a couple of the demos that I was working on, and he called me that day and he was like, "Yo, this shit is good. What are you doing with this? We should develop this project." And like, fast forward, like, a year, we worked on the record together. Chris worked with me remotely because he lives out in Tennessee, and we just would get on Zoom calls, and he would listen to the demos that I was creating and critique them and give me pointers and give me good advice. And we made that first Story of My Life EP, and I went to the studio, I recorded that stuff, and then I got 6, 7 more songs in the bank and made the whole What Better Time record. But yeah, I put that whole thing together. I recorded that all actually on my own with a producer, a good friend of mine, Nick Brzezzi, who is actually the bassist in Story So Far. He's out in South Jersey at a wonderful studio called the Gradwell House. And so I connected with him and I said, "Hey, I need some horn players. Can you find any for me?" And he found a couple great guys for me to work with in the studio. And then 2022 came around and it was like, all right, this record is here. Like, there's demand for this band to be seen live. And I reached out to the local community out in New York City, out in Long Island. And I was able to link up with the current lineup that you see us playing out with right now. But a couple of those guys are my friends from long time ago. And everybody else is people that I've met along the way. And it was always, it was always good energy, and it meant to be.
And also, June 2nd, 2023, I know you briefly mentioned this album, but you guys released a 14-track album titled What a Better Time.
Yeah,
I was wondering if you can just take a deep dive into this album a little bit more and just tell us the story and inspiration behind it, man, because this 14-track album, man, and I'm not just saying this to gas you up because you're here, but whether you put on track 4, 5, 12, or even 1, man, no matter where you start the record, it's phenomenal from front to back and back to front.
Thank you so much for saying that. I mean, that record is really like 3 years in the making, so it's very special to me. You know, I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, and really paid attention to trying to just make something that was just as authentic to me as possible. And not, it has so many great influences from, from those 90s and 2000s bands that you love, Less Than Jake, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Real Big Fish, Streetlight Manifesto, all that stuff. But I just really wanted to take focus, or put a focus on the fact that like this is just me. This is who I am and how I grew up and what I'm doing. That record was it was a long time coming, and it was really fun because it just kind of fell out of me. Like I did work on, like, there were parts of it that I did work on, like, and have issues with, I can't figure out what this friggin' lyric is going to be. But I would say more than like 3/4 of that record, those songs just like appeared out of thin air. And I was just, I would be like hanging out with a friend, or I'd be with my wife, and I'd be like, I got to run in the studio real quick. Like I got this thing I got to do. And I would just start demoing out these songs. But yeah, we worked on that. The players that you hear on the record, I did all the bass, all the guitars, all the vocals. The drums on that record is Nick Brzezzi, our producer, and our horn section for that record, funny enough, is Dave Heck, who plays trombone in Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties. The late great Matt Stewart, who used to be the trumpet player in Streetlight Manifesto. He passed away, unfortunately, last year. And John James Ryan of Keep Flying. They were the lineup for the in-studio sessions. And then I was looking for a little bit more beef on the trombone. There was just some stuff after I had gotten all the mixes back. I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to hear some more trombone, and I couldn't get a hold of Dave. And just on a whim, I texted Chris from Less Than Jake, and I was like, hey, do you think Buddy from your band would like blast some trombone on some of the songs? And he goes, I don't know, why don't you email him? And I went, okay. So I emailed Buddy, and Buddy hits me back, and he's like, yeah, dude, whatever you want. So Buddy actually like doubled and tripled like trombone lines on that entire record too, and also wrote some lines in one of the songs, Story of My Life. He was like, hey, I love these parts, but do you want me to just write something cooler? And I was like, am I gonna tell you no, dude? Of course, yeah, go for it. So yeah, that was the record, the in studio portion of it. And I was lucky enough to get in touch with a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Myers, he has a label out of Pennsylvania called Jumpstart Records. And I was talking to him about how I'm working on this thing, and wondered if he would be interested. And I sent him the mixes as they were coming in, and he immediately said, hey, I want you to be part of the Jumpstart family, and I want to put this vinyl out for you guys. And on top of that, every year there's a big ska fest called This Is Not Croydon Fest. It's like, as far as East Coast Ska Fest is concerned, it's like Supernova Ska Fest and This Is Not Croydon are the biggest things that happen on the East Coast when it comes to ska. And he runs that, and he said, I want you guys on it this first year. Or this year that you guys are, popping off and hitting the scene. And so like first year that we're playing shows out as this new entity title holder, we're opening for Pie Tasters, Mustard Plug, Spring Heel Jack, Catbite, Jay Navarro and the Traders. And it was just like, holy shit, what's going on? So we hit the ground running, and this record was, the deciding factor in us being able to be invited on these shows.
And Jumpstart Records, man, absolutely legendary. From Belvedere, the Kingpins, the B3s. I mean, I think even 2000 Flushes were also on that label as well at some point. I mean, like, I think the label's been around for 30 plus years, man. Yeah. So when you think ska music, you have to think Jumpstart Records.
Yeah. I mean, Jeremy he definitely, it's a labor of love. He does this shit because he loves to do it. I remember looking at their discography, and one of the bands, or actually two of the bands, I remember seeing the Planet Smashers. He had done some work with them, and he had done some work with MXPX. And I was like, holy shit. Like, so those guys? And he's like, and he's, yeah, they're just normal dudes. Yeah. I put out the record, or I did a vinyl press for him. You're like, oh man, holy crap. So I'm like going around telling friends, I'm like, yeah, I'm on this like label now that's worked with like MXPX, no big deal. But
Hey,
yeah,
man,
no,
honestly, brag, man. That's a great opportunity for any band.
yeah, it's been a really really great few years, and we're now we're working on some new content, some new music, and having that support from Jumpstart has been really 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 special.
And are you guys still currently signed to Jumpstart Records today, or is that just something you did for a vinyl release?
So we did it for the vinyl release, but we are just forever in a handshake deal. We're going to work together until one of us gets sick of the other. Where basically, yeah, I we lease all of our music, all of our streams to Jumpstart to pay for vinyl to put out. So it's just a rotating machine that as soon as we get the stream royalties in, it goes right to putting out vinyl for when we want to press it. So it's not like a true record deal as far it's just a vinyl deal, but with that comes the Rolodex of what Jumpstart has in their pocket as far as their contacts and the shows that they put together and stuff. So it's been really really valuable to have them on our side taking care of us. And when I call him, we shoot the shit for 45 minutes and talk about life and talk about what's the plan for the band, and what he sometimes he'll give me a call and he'll just be like, what are you doing this week to make the band cooler? And and I'm like, so I'm on TikTok. I'm telling the kids to listen to us. He's like, all right, cool, all right, I'll talk to you later.
I gotta say, TikTok is definitely a weird place to be, man. I just got on TikTok not too long ago, and I'm still trying to figure it out, man.
Yeah.
It feels like once you get used to one social media platform, another one, just
Yeah.
rises up, and all these kids know how to use it, and us in our 30s are kind of sitting there
Right.
like, God damn, man, like, what is this? It's like
I
Vine but on crack.
Yeah. I'm definitely stuck in like the 200 to 300 view jail, but I'm not stressing about it. When we have shows coming up or we have new music, I try to do my best to put a couple posts out. And also I like TikTok for the fact that I just found so many great bands and so many great people that appreciate music the way you and I do. Like there is a group and a family for us on that platform. Sometimes you just get stuck down a rabbit hole of crap, but I've met so many bands. I've booked shows through finding friends on TikTok. So there was a band out of Long Island called Playing Dead that like I found through TikTok and was like, yo, you guys rock, like we should hang out and play a show together.
And also, March 18th of 2025, so just this past spring, Time Won't Stop, you guys released that phenomenal single. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this song, because I have to say, I absolutely love this song.
Oh, dude, thank you. Yeah, this was so last April. My wife and I just had a son last year, and right before he was born, I knew I was like, I got to get these songs done. I had some songs that I had been working on, and I wanted to get them recorded so that I could start putting them out this year. And Time Won't Stop, out of the ones that we're releasing this year for the rest of what are we're in August right now. Time Won't Stop is probably one of my favorite songs, just because somebody in their late 30s and constantly looking at the watch and still chasing the dream of one day maybe I will be a rock star. It was a very appropriate song, and it was very much a letter to myself, as far as like I'm constantly watching the clock and trying to light the fire under my ass to just keep going and not get don't give up just because you have a bad week or you have a bad month. Like this, if there's anything that we can learn from our favorite bands, is this shit's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You just keep doing it. The best advice that you get from everybody who's been doing this for 30 years is just don't stop. Just keep doing the best you're doing. Keep putting out quality fucking songs. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it okay
Oh,
if
we're
I?
uncensored. Definitely swear away,
Okay.
dude.
Okay. Cool. So yeah. Time Won't Stop was just basically a letter to my younger self, kind of thing, you know. But it's a fun song. I was always really happy with how I had like the the fast parts in the beginning, and then like that outro, it kind of breaks down into like the real fun ska reggae thing with like the horn switching up with the fun little bouncy horn line. But yeah, I think that's a really fun song, and I was really happy about getting it out as fast as possible.
And also, speaking of a new song that's coming out as fast as possible, this week, August 8th, you have a brand new song that will be hitting the streaming world. And it's also going to be debuting here on 99.9 FM at exactly 9:30. So if you're listening to this interview or watching this interview, tune into this station to hear it first exclusively, courtesy of Matt. But with that being said, for the people that are slacking off this Sunday night, it's Sunday. I don't blame you guys if you do slack off. But what can they expect if they decide to wait until this Thursday? What can they expect from this new song, whether they wait or whether they decide to check it out tonight right here on 99.9 FM?
Man, I'm telling you, if some sitcom doesn't pick up this song as their theme song for a show, I'm gonna be really, really pissed off. This song is under 2 minutes long. You will not get bored of it. And it's just about how I'm constantly broke and I want to save up money to take my lady out for a nice night on the town. That's all.
And it definitely sounds like a phenomenal song. And you can catch it here on 99.9 FM. Like I said, at 9:30, or if you don't want to wait around, that's fine. I understand. Make sure you stream it this Thursday, and of course, pre-save that as well. But coming up, just at the ending the summer, Title Holder is going to keep the summer heat going, where you guys will be taking the stage in New Jersey, Saryville, alongside Mess and others. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this up and coming show, and of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some tickets tonight if we haven't already done so?
Absolutely. That's a phenomenal question. Yeah. So we are opening for Save Ferris and Mest September 12th. That's a Friday in New Jersey in Sayreville at the Starland Ballroom. Legendary club. If you are in the New Jersey area, you know about Starland Ballroom. You've seen all your favorite bands there, and now you get to see Title Holder, your newest favorite band, open the night. It's going to be a really, really fun night. If you want tickets, you can, of course, always visit starlandballroom.com and you can grab tickets from them. But if you want to let me sweeten the deal, I can sweeten the deal for you right now, because I have 200 tickets in my hand right now that I would love to sell to you. And if you buy one from Title Holder, I will throw in a free t-shirt. Now, I know that might not be advantageous for our friends in Canada, but if you're listening to this in New Jersey, New York, or Philadelphia, I will drive this damn ticket to your house with a free t-shirt. I'm really excited about the show. It's going to be a fun night, and Starland Ballroom has been a beacon of the punk rock and pop punk and alternative scene in my life for as long as I've known about shows happening around here. So I'm super excited to play on that stage. And also Mest, I love Save Ferris, but Mest was like my numero uno band growing up, and that's actually how I found you and met you online recently. Was you just spent an afternoon and an evening with the guys from Mess, and they reposted it, and I said, holy shit, all right, DJ Immortal, what's up, dude? You rock, man. And I gotta tell you, when I was 15 years old, I saw Mess play, and if I don't know if the listeners can't see this, I'm just gonna show. I bought this guitar. This is a Fernandez native guitar. I bought this because Tony Lovato and the other bandmates all played Fernandez guitars, and it influenced me so much growing up that I was so excited about it. So I'm going to try to be cool and not be a fanboy when we play that gig.
I will tell you, first and foremost, Tony is a phenomenal guy. I had a fan. I interviewed him twice virtually, and then interviewed him a third time along with the rest of the band.
Yeah.
And there's a time in that interview, if you hear I lose my radio voice, dude. Like
Yeah.
I immediately lose
Yeah.
it. And I'm sitting there and I botch a part of the interview and I'm just like, fuck. So
Yeah.
after the interview, I walk up and Tony's like, dude, why the hell are you nervous? You interviewed me twice. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah.
I had a moment. I think it's because virtually you're looking through a screen and you can kind of look away and look around your studio. When you're in person, you have to be there like locking eyes. You have to really, you're in the flesh, right? So I was like, fuck. So I botched a little bit, but he was cool. I mean, the final product, you don't really see it, but you can definitely hear it in my voice. You can hear the radio, but then Brandon comes out. Like the Brandon comes out and you're just like, wait a minute, that was definitely spliced.
Yeah, I've had a lot of those moments. Like we were just recently this past October, we were out on tour with Less Than Jake, and they were another like top tier band that like made me who I am musically, and like every night just having to like be cool while hanging out with those guys and hey what's going on, and then be like, oh my god, like they're inviting us out to the bar, like don't screw it up, don't fuck it up, like I don't think that's ever is going to leave you, and I think that's okay. I think that there's something genuine about that. I think that that's important to maybe hang on to that energy, and you don't always have to be cool, just be you.
And of course, aside from this amazing song that's coming this Thursday, August 8th, and of course, the show coming up with Mest, what is next for Title Holder? Is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview that you still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? We still got you here live on the radio this evening.
So what we are working on right now is end of this month, end of August, I am going back into the studio, and this is actually really exciting. All the boys that you see play with us live are going to be working on these new records now. So I'm passing the torch off. It's not just me in the studio playing, ska punk Dave Grohl and recording everything myself. But end of this month, we're working on 7 new songs. And then end of this year, last week of this year, December into New Year's Eve, we're going to be doing 7 additional songs. So there's going to be a full-length record worth of stuff to drop within 2026. I think the move is going to be that we're going to drop 1 EP very, very early and try to just figure out, take the temperature of what the next year is going to be. We really want to try to get on another tour. It is as much as we want to make it out to, bigger markets that are farther away. It's very expensive, and if we can get an invitation from somebody a little bigger to be supporting, that's going to be the move. So right now we're packaging up everything and planning to, try to send some stuff out to some talent buyers and see, if we can make a move out to the West Coast or Canada or, wherever. We're open to it. We want to do it. So yeah, rest of this year is focused on making new music. There'll be pop-up shows that happen. Based on everyone's availability, it's when you got 7 dudes in a band, it's challenging to figure out even just one Friday night to play a gig. It takes like 3 months of like, hey, are you available this day? Are you available? So, there will be more shows this year, but yeah, big thing this year is just more music. We're going to hit you guys hard next year with a lot of really, really great tunes that are going to be really, really fun.
And Matt, before we actually part ways here tonight, obviously I know how to follow Title Holder across social media, but for the people down here in Canada listening that might just be discovering you guys tonight, how do we go about following yourself and the rest of the band all across social media if we're not already doing so?
Social media, you can find us on Instagram, Title Holder Music. If you're doing the TikTok thing, also Title Holder Music. You can also just follow our website, titleholderband.com. I don't update that as much as I should. So I would say I'm like a big fan of always being Instagram. So yeah, Title Holder Music on Instagram. I believe Facebook, everywhere that there is social media, we do exist in some capacity. It's just how often I'm posting on each one. Yeah. Give us a shout on Instagram. Give us a shout on TikTok. I'm always trying to be a little obnoxious on there and make sure that everyone can't forget that we exist in the world.
And I gotta say, Matt, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station airways a bit of your time, and of course, holding it down for the rest of title holder here tonight. I'm pretty sure down the line we definitely will make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, have yourself a phenomenal night and a kick-ass week as well. I'm looking forward to actually listening to the song on my own station. I don't want to sound, I don't want to try and big my station up too much, but I haven't even listened to the song yet.
All right.
I want to be able to hear it first with the listeners. So that's 9:30. I'm listening to my own stuff coming up. So I've listened to your entire catalog. I don't even need to screen this song. I already know it's going to be stellar.
Oh, that's nice of you. It's a fun one, man. I like I said before, it just, to me, this one was kind of like a funny one that fell out, and it just screams like it should be the opening intro to like a sitcom. So I'm putting that out in the airwaves. Disney or Pixar or ABC or CBS. You guys, you need a song. I got you.
But again, Matt, thank you so much again for your time. We definitely shall talk again here soon. But for now, have yourself a phenomenal night, dude.
All right. You as well. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're most certainly welcome, dude.
Right on.